Now, I don't know why you want to get me started with Boosie. But no, how y'all doing? Welcome, welcome. Good evening. Welcome to Study Buddy Sunday. How are you guys doing tonight? Now I gotta set it off in my head. Oh man. How's yours weekend? Are y'all ready to start the week off good at school? Hey Jazzy. How are you doing? I am good. I'm good. I'm good. Got some much needed rest. But I am here tonight. What's up with y'all? How are y'all doing? What are we studying? I came on, what was it, Saturday? Like a little impromptu session, and I like how it went because I just didn't have any. No, I'm still working on I am still working on getting these taxes done. I had went to my tax lady and she had gave me some stuff to like write down, so I had to come down back to the house and write down stuff and look at stuff and just, I have a 2-year old and a 10-year-old, and I don't know. And I don't like doing taxes. Like, oh, taxes. Blah. And so, I don't know. I kept getting distracted. I'm like, there's so many other things that I could be doing besides these boring taxes, but it must get done. I'm almost finished, though. Almost. How are y'all this evening? Me too. Every week, I say I'm going to get my taxes. And see, I have deadlines, man. And I don't know. Taxes. Like, who invented those? Why? Why? So what do y'all want to study tonight? What do y'all want to study tonight? Y'all tell me. This is going to be an audience guided session. And we gonna just go with the flow. Because we got how many? I have a problem. Can we go over? Hey. Sure, shoot. You can put it in the comments and we can go over it. Tonight's session is on YouTube. IV pumps, okay? It is on YouTube. So once we get done studying, you can go and look at the session again. There are also problems broken down in different playlists via solving strategies. So dimensional analysis, ratio and proportion, and desired / formulas. Does anybody use ratio and proportion? I feel like I'm the only weirdo who like really liked ratio and proportion in school. It just made sense to me. It doesn't let me post it. You might have to type it out as best as you can. All right, so what does it say? A volume of 750 milliliters of lactated ringers is infused. Hey, night, baby. A volume of 750 mLs of lactated ringers is infusing at a rate of 37 drops per minute. If the drop factor is 15 drops per mL, how many hours will it take for the IV solution to infuse? So let's see. It's asking for us to find hours. So dimensional analysis, okay, with everybody who's here right now. Y'all let me know so I can know which direction we're going in. Which direction? Can we do weight-based drops per minute problems? I haven't seen a weight-based drop per minute problems. The only weight-based problem that I've seen with an IV is asking milliliters per hour, unless you have one. But I've never seen one. That's different. I haven't seen one of those, but I mean, if you have one, then yeah, sure. So on this one, what we need to find is hours. So when you do dosage calculations, what you want to do, what you want to do is find out what the question is asking you, okay? You answer what it is that is asking you, nothing more and nothing less, okay? So this is hours. So our goal is to have hours. Everything else, I'm going to do dimensional analysis, by the way, because I did really see people say which way they want it to be solved. But dimensional analysis is my favorite, and I like it because you don't have to remember formulas or remember like different strategies. The only thing you got to know is just the rules of dimensional analysis. That you want what's on top to go on to match what's on bottom so that they both cross out, and everything has to cross out except for what it is that we're looking for. So in this question, we're looking for hours, okay? So what I do is I write down all of my elements that I'm going to need for the problem. So 750 mLs, okay? It's by itself. It's not in a relationship. It is considered single. Also, when you do the dimensional analysis, write out your units by your numbers. The numbers are very important once we get to the end when we multiply and divide, but the units matter because you need to know what's going to go on top and what's going to go on the bottom and cross out, okay? So we got 750 mLs and it's going at 37 drops per minute. And drop factor is 15 drops per milliliter. Okay, and we want to know how many hours will it take for this to go. Okay, so there are no hours in sight to be found, right? But what we will do is still start with hours. So I like to start with what it is that I am looking for. If you start with what you're looking for, you don't have to go and find it. I like to let this make sense and be as easy as it can because the dosage doesn't have to be hard, okay? So we'll do hour and minutes, okay? So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So now we have minutes at the bottom. We'll do minutes at the top. So we'll use this. So minute at the top, drop at the bottom. That's 37. Your minutes cross out. Now we have drops at the bottom. We need drops at the top so that it can cross out. So we'll use this 15 drops over milliliter. Drops crosses out. Now we have milliliter at the bottom, okay? So we'll use this. That's the only thing that's left and it's by itself. So we'll put it over 1. So cross out your milliliters and the only thing that you have left is hours, okay? So what we're going to do is multiply all of your numbers across the top, all of your numbers across the bottom, and divide the top by the bottom. Now, what I do encourage you is to just let it stay in the calculator by using the calculator tip or trick. So what you'll do is enter all your numbers at the top, so you multiply them. So I don't put the ones in. The ones don't make a difference. They're 1, okay? So 15 times 750, divide. So once you get to the end, you hit divide, and then all your numbers at the bottom you enter in, but you press divide. So 60. Divide 37, and then the rest are ones. You hit the equal sign 1 time. So this is going to take us 5.06 hours, okay? So I don't know what 0.06 minutes is. I don't even know if it's a significant amount, but let me show you. This right here is your hours part. This right here is your minutes. So everything that's after the decimal is your minutes. So we'll take 0.06 and multiply it by 60. And that's what's going to give us our minutes in like real-time minutes, because you've got exactly, Angelica, you've got a decimal right now. So that's going to be 3.6 minutes. So it'll be 5 hours and 4 minutes. Okay, anybody have any questions about this one? Anybody have any qualms about dimensional analysis and how I can clear it up, make it a little bit clearer? Because like I said, once you know what you're doing and you use it, it's like chef kiss, like it makes life easier. I promise you it does. How do you know where to start? Aria, I hope I said it right. What I start with every time that I, do a dimensional analysis problem is I look for my goal. So whatever it is that is asking me, in this case, it was hours. I start with hours. It was asking drops per minute, and I got drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. I'm gonna start with my drops, and then everything crosses out until I got drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. If it asks for milliliters per hour, I'm gonna go with milliliters first and make sure I cross out everything until it's milliliter on the top and hour on the bottom. Let's see. Y'all let me know what other problems we got. So far, I just know somebody said we want to do weight-based and IV problems. So I'm on IV infusion right now, IV infusion time. So calculate the infusion time of an IV with a total of 180 milliliters left in the bag, running at 25 milliliters per hour. What is the infusion time? And answer in hours and minutes, okay? So this is time. So we're going to look for hours, okay? So we have 180 milliliters, and it's going at 25 mLs per hour. We have hour on this one, so we can start with hour. So look, okay, I like to call them relationships, okay? So that's how my mind works. So 180 milliliters is just by itself. So it's single. So when we use that in our puzzle, in our problem, we're just going to put it over one. That 25 milliliter per hour, you keep those together. So don't separate them. People like, okay, I see 25 mLs an hour and I need hour right here and I need milliliter right here, and they want to separate it. No, you keep them together. You can flip flop them so that if you have hour and you're looking for the hour and you need it, you can flip flop it, but don't separate it, okay? So we're looking for hours. So I'm going to put my hour on the top and my 25 milliliters on the bottom, okay? So now I have milliliters on the bottom. I need milliliter on the top. I've used this already, so I'm going to do my 180 milliliters. It's single. It's by itself, so I'm going to put it over one. So now we have everything that we're looking for according to our goal. So nothing more, nothing less. People want to make these problems harder than what they really need to be when you already have the answer. It's like, if you've got what you're looking for, stop. That's it. So what we have is 7.2 hours. So in order to find the minutes, we're going to take what's behind the decimal and multiply it by 60. So 0.2 times 60 is 12. So this is going to be 7 hours and 12 minutes. All right, let's do some weight-based. That seems cool. All right, so moxicillin. Well, somebody said weight-based for infusions, right? Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. A client weighs 115 pounds. The nurse is to start drug D at 7.5 mics per kilogram per minute. Drug D is labeled 400 milligrams and 250 mLs of normal saline. How many milliliters per hour will the IV infuse? So, on your weight-based problems, you think about PPP. Not the loan that I didn't get during COVID. But patient, so your patient's weight, prescription, which is your order, and your product, which is your medicine. And question mark, what is it asking, okay? So our goal is to get milliliters per hour. All right, I wish I could give a PPP loan, man. Anywho, so 115 is the patient's weight. Why is this microphone so close? All right, 115. And the prescription is this. So 7.5 mics per kg per minute. And your medicine is 400 milligrams and 250 mLs. Okay, so we're looking for milliliters on the top and hours on the bottom. So everything has to cross out except for milliliters on the top and hours on the bottom. So we are looking for milliliters. We start with milliliters. So I'm going to use this, but I'm going to flip it so that my milliliters are on the top. So 250 mLs over 400 milligrams. Now we got milligrams on the bottom. So what do we need on the top? Milligrams. But do we have milligrams anywhere? Nope, because we've already used this. That's gone. That's done. We have micrograms. That's in our order. So therefore, we're going to have to use a conversion. So I'll put my milligrams on the top, my micrograms on the bottom. 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. And some people get confused, like, where do I put the 1 and where do I put the 1,000? Remember that the 1 is going to go by the biggest unit of measure. You need 1,000 little crumbs to make one cookie. So think about it like that if you get confused, okay? Why do you flip it again? Because I'm looking for milliliters. I'm going to start with what I am looking for every single time. Okay, now I got micrograms at the bottom. I'm going to put my micrograms at the top. So I'll use this. So 7.5 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Micrograms cross out. Now I've got kilograms and minutes at the bottom, okay? Can I say that again? I don't know what I said. How that I started, I'm looking for milliliters. So I start with my milliliters. That's why I flip-flopped it. I think that's maybe what I said. I don't know. So next, okay, we've got kilograms and minutes, right? So I'm going to go with my kilograms because I got my pounds right here. So you can't put a pound on top of a kg and expect for it to cross out. Remember, it's got to be the same. So I'll do my kgs and my pounds at the bottom. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Kilograms cross out, and now I have my pounds, and it's single. It's not in a relationship to anything, so I'll put it over 1. I've used that, and my pounds cross out, and then the only thing that's left now is minutes at the bottom. I need hours, so I'll put my minutes at the top and my hour at the bottom. So 60 minutes is 1 hour. Minutes has now crossed out, and everything is gone except for what my goal is, which is milliliter on the top and hour at the bottom. The little crumbs. Oh, it takes 1,000 little crumbs to make one big cookie. So it takes 1,000 micrograms to make 1 milligram. So that's how you can remember where the 1 goes and where the 1,000 goes. All right, so we're at the end now, and we can finally do some math, because don't look at it as math. We were just solving a puzzle. So what you'll do is you put all of your numbers in at the top, and you'll put them in multiply. So 250 times 75. I mean 7.5, not 75, because don't put 75. Your answer would be wrong. Times 115 times 60. Now hit divide, and all of your numbers at the bottom you're going to put in. You're hitting divide. 400 divide 1,000 divide 2.2, and now you can finally hit the equal sign, and you'll get 14.7 milliliters per hour. Okay. This is used when giving anesthesia. It's used for a lot of critical drips. I'm not an anesthesiologist or a nurse anesthetist, so I can't really truthfully tell you. But I'm pretty sure it's weight based. Alrighty. So y'all want to do another one of those or something different? Is this the mole formula? It's not a formula. It's just using dimensional analysis. This is way early than what my teacher taught. I hope I pass tomorrow. Yeah, me too. I pray that you do well. That's about dobutamine. You can't give 14.7, so it would be 15 milliliters. You could. Some pumps are calibrated where you can put in the tens place, especially with like heparin or other critical drips. But if you're HESI, ATI, whatever test that you're taking, your professor, whatever tells you to round to the nearest whole number, round to the nearest whole number. If it tells you to round to the nearest tenth, then round to the nearest tenth. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad y'all are here. Y'all let me know what type of programs are y'all in. LPN, RN, associates, accelerated program, BSN. What's going on with y'all? All right, let's do this dobutamine. This is a critical drip that they're going to use in the IC of the U. I see you. All right. A patient has dobutamine ordered at 15 mics per kilogram per minute. The patient weighs 75 kilograms. The concentration of the dobutamine is 500 milligrams and 250 milliliters. Calculate the infusion rate, ml per hour. And this one, we're going to round to the whole number, okay? All right, we got some LPNs, associates, RN, BSN. That's what's up. Can you do drop factor? Yes, I will do drop factor after this one. Okay, so what we're looking for, we'll find our goal, which is this. It wants us to find milliliter per hour. So PPP, patient prescription product. So our patient weighs 75 kgs. And I always write what it is that I'm using out of my problem on the side so I know what I'm working with and I don't have to go back and constantly reread the problem and then get lost up in it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so prescription is 15 micrograms per kg per minute, and then the medicine is 500 milligrams and 250 mLs. Okay, so if I'm looking for milliliters on the top and hours on the bottom, I will do my milliliters on the top. So 250 mLs over 500 milligrams. I use this and I flip-flopped it upside down because I want my milliliters on the top. Okay, so now we'll do milligrams on the top and we'll put our micrograms on the bottom because our order is in micrograms and we need a conversion. So 1 big milligram cookie, it takes 1,000 microgram crumbs, right? So milligrams cross out. We'll have our micrograms on the bottom. We need our micrograms on the top. 15 mics per kg per minute. Microgram crosses out. Now, our patient's weight is already in kilograms, so we don't have to use a conversion here. We'll just put 75 kgs over 1 because it's single. It's not in a relationship with anything. It's just by itself, right? And now we got minutes on the bottom, and we need hours on the bottom. So we'll put our minutes on the top and our hour on the bottom. So 60 minutes, 1 hour. Minute crosses out. Now we have ml on the top and hour on the bottom. So once again, I like to use the calculator trick because how many times have you written down a problem and then these weight-based ones can get long, like you'll have like a million and something and you write it down with all those numbers and zeros, and then what if you don't put it in the calculator right? What if you leave out a digit? You know, you want to get all of your points because a lot of you said that you have to make 85, 90, hundreds to pass or you don't get to continue on in the program. And you know, we want y'all to continue on, so everything counts. So the less steps that you take, the less mistakes that you make, okay? So I've got 33.75 and it says to round it to the whole number. So that's going to be 34 milliliters per hour. We have to get a 90. Okay. I love this method. Me too. Believe it or not, I hated dimensional analysis when I was in school. I didn't use it. I really liked, what did I like? I liked ratio and proportion and just like breaking it down like step by step, but like I was comfortable with math, so it didn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? I was a pharmacy technician before I was an LPN, and then I went back for my associates, and then I went back for my BSN. So I just said that to say that I was good with math, so it didn't bother me. But yeah, if you are not very confident and you're like, what in the world is all of this stuff? Don't fret because you're not doing math. It's like you're doing a puzzle. That's what I like to call it. And it's like you don't do math until you get to the very end where you're multiplying and dividing, okay? All right, let's see. Thank y'all for the likes and for the follows. If y'all are enjoying the session so far, double tap that screen for me. Let's put some hearts out into the algorithm so more students can come on and study with us. Does the way you set your problem up work for all problems? Yes, Jazzy, it does. Somebody said, I can't with dimensional analysis. That's okay. You do what gets you through. I got 2 kid dosage calculator tests before I'm done. I'm just ready to be done. I know. Can you do milligrams per kilogram per day question? I think I have some of those. All right, so this is the drop factor or the IV drips per minute. So a healthcare provider order reads infusion of 2,750 mLs of half normal saline at 150 mLs per hour. And the drop factor is 15 drops per ml. The nurse will set the flow rate at how many drops per minute to safely administer the IV solution. So our question is asking us to find drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. Okay, so we have 2750 ml over 100. Well, hold on. I'm sorry. That doesn't even matter. So look, this is our rate. This is how much we are to give, okay? This is the rate though, and it says 150 milliliters per hour. That means how much volume are we giving over time? That's what we want to find out, okay? So this is just the bag, how much it's in there. So then we have our drop factor, which is 15 drops per ml. And we want drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. So I'm going to start with my drop factor. So 15 drops per milliliter. We have milliliter on the bottom. Now we want milliliters on the top so it can cross out. So 150 mLs per hour. Milliliter is now gone. Now we have drops on the top, which is part of our goal, but we need minute at the bottom. So we got hours at the bottom right now. So I'll put my hours on the top, my minutes on the bottom. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Hour has crossed out, and now we're ready to solve. So we'll do 15 times 150 divided by 60. And that's going to be 37.5. All right, so if you ever walked in the kitchen and seen half a drop, then something's wrong. You either get a drop or you don't get a drop. So on these problems, you have to round to the nearest whole number. Does anybody need any help with rounding? Okay. So when you round, all right, so pause real quick. Let's do a rounding lesson. Let's say this was the number, okay? So listen, this is the whole number. This is your tens, and this is your hundreds, and then the 2 is the thousands, okay? So when you round, you want to round right. Okay, think round right. So if it tells you to round to the whole number, so you want to round to this, everything that's above, that's on the left side of the decimal, right? You go there and you go one space over, which is going to be the tens. If that number in your 10 space is 4 and below, that number stays the same. If it's 5 and above, then you bump it up. So if this was rounding to the nearest whole number, which we need to do, this is going to be 38 drops per minute. Now, if we have this same number, right, with 37.542, and it says to round to the tens place, so we need to round right here. We'll go to the hundreds. And if that number is 4 and below, it stays the same. If it's 5 and above, then we'll bump it up. So because that's a 4 right there, if we were rounding to the tens, it would be 37.5. And it's the same with if it was rounding to the 100s. So sometimes your pediatric problems will ask for you to round to the hundreds, because peds calculations have to be really specific because of their weight and their size. And so if it asks you to round to the hundreds, so you round right. So you will look at the thousands place. Because it was a 2, that's going to stay the same. So it'll be 37.54. So I hope that made a little bit of sense about rounding. Okay. Yep. Thank y'all for handling the comments for me. And let's see. I'll do another drop per minute one. Let's see. D5W, 500 mLs to infuse in 12 hours. The drop factor of my tubing is 15 drops per ml. How many drops per minute would you infuse? So this is looking for us to find drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. So what we have is 500 mLs over 12 hours. So 500 milliliters, 12 hours. And our drop factor is 15 drops per ml. Does everybody know what a drop factor is? Okay, so a drop factor, I feel like a lot of times people look at these problems and it's just like woo 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 woo, find the answer, and you don't know what the heck is going on, what it means, why, and all of that. So it kind of helps you to know what stuff is so that you can process it and answer it. So a drop factor is the container. So there's a drip container. If you ever seen the IV tubing and you squeeze it, and that container has the fluid in it and it goes into the tubing. So once it drips down, that's your drop, right? So a drop factor is how many drops does it take to administer 1 ml of fluid. Those holes are different sizes, so that's why you have your different micro tubing like 10, 15, 20, and the macro tubing and micro tubing, and then the macro tubing is the 60 drops per minute. So that is what the the drop factor is. I was thinking about it in my head. I'm like micro, macro. But yes, is it how drops? Yes. How many drops does it take to give 1 ml of fluid? All right, so we'll start with our drop factor because we want our drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. So 15 drops per milliliter. Right, and now we have milliliter on the bottom. We need milliliter at the top. So 500 mLs over 12 hours. Milliliter crosses out. We have hours on the bottom. We need minutes. So hours goes on top, minutes go on the bottom. 1 hour, 60 minutes. Boom, boom. All right, now we have drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. So 15 times 500 divided by 12 divided by 60. So it's going to be 10.41. And what will we round this to? If we're rounding to the nearest whole number. Yep, 10 drops per minute. Don't forget to label your answers on your test or your papers or whatever, because I heard teachers be petty and they can't offer that. We need all of our points. All right, let's do some safe dosage. Pediatric safe dose. So I don't know what it is about safe dose, but a lot of people like it has them in a chokehold. What we're doing with those is we're being detectives. Your doctor has given you an order, and what you want to do is see if that order is safe to give based on the recommended safe dose from the manufacturer. So what you'll do is find the green zone, see if what the order that's given it is, and if it's in the green zone, cool, it's safe. If it's outside of those limits, then no, it's not. That's it, okay? I don't want you to make it more complicated than what it has to be. And we're going to look at this one right here. All right. Hey, how you doing, Kima? How are you tonight? Order is drug S, 4.6 milligrams IM every 8 hours. The recommended safe dose range is for drug S, 0.5 to 1.7 milligrams per kilogram per day. The child weighs 14 pounds and 12 ounces. What is the maximum safe dosage in milligram per day? Is the ordered dose safe to give? Okay, so what we're going to do, first of all, we got to address this weight. So a lot of people change the pounds to kilograms, and that's cool if that's what you do. But like I said, I don't like doing all those steps, because the more steps that you take, the more mistakes that you're likely to make. But in this case, we do have to do something with this weight, because it's in pounds and ounces. You can't do pounds and ounces. It's got to be all in pounds so that you can convert it to your kilograms. Okay, does everybody know how to convert your ounces to pounds? Ounces to pounds, ounces to pounds. No. All right, so this is what we're going to do. So we know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, okay? So if we are looking for pounds, because we got to add, we have 14 pounds, we got to see what the ounces is in pounds. So it's going to be a decimal, okay? So what we'll do, we're looking for pounds, so we'll start with pounds. So 1 pound is 16 ounces. Then we have 12 ounces that our patient weighs, right? So ounces crossed out, so now you'll just divide 12 by 16. I don't like how I wrote that 16. And that's going to give us 0.75. So now you'll add that to your 14. So your patient's weight is going to be 14.75 pounds. All right. So yes, you got it right. So now we need to find the safe zone. So you're going to have two numbers. You're going to have your lower limit and you're going to have your upper limit. The lower limit is the least that they can have, that it'll be safe to give and therapeutic in the blood. The upper limit is the most that they can have, where it'll be in therapeutic and not toxic. If you give more than what the max is, then it'll be toxic. Okay. So what we'll start with is the lower limit. So we'll do 0.5 milligrams per kg per day. All right. I got my weight is in pounds, so I'll do my kg, 2.2 pounds, and cross out my kgs. Then I've got my weight, 14.75 pounds over 1 pounds, cross out. And now I have how many milligrams per day, because it's trying to see, okay, well, this one just asked us for the max dosage, but I'm going to show you how to find the limits anyway. So, hey, we can all use the practice. So this is going to be the minimum. So it'll be 0.5 times 14.75 divided by 2.2. And that's going to be 3.35 milligrams per day. And then we'll do the same for this 1.75 milligrams per kg per day. This is going to be the most that they can have. 1 kg over 2.2. Kgs cross out. 14.75 pounds over 1 pounds cross out. So we'll do 1.7 times 14.75 divided by 2.2. And it's going to be 11.39 or 11.4 milligrams per day. So these are your safe zone, okay? Anything that is on that side of it is not safe. Anything that is above that is not safe, okay? So our order tells us that we have 4.6, so one dose is 4.6, and it's to be given every 8 hours, okay? So to find out how many times you would give this medicine, you'll do 24 divided by 8, which is going to be 3 doses. So if you do 3 doses times 4.6, that's going to give you the maximum amount of milligrams in a day. So it's 13.6 milligrams that has been ordered. So You all tell me, is this going to be safe? Nope, 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 nope. Not safe. Not safe. Not safe. Just everybody understand why it is not safe. Contact the provider ASAP, Rocky. Yup. Like, hey, you know that orders you put in? No, I can't do that. Can't do that. Not today. Not on my watch. Explain. Okay, Chrissy. So what we did was we found out the green zone. So this right here are your numbers. So if it is at 3.35 or or up to 11.39, that is your safe zone, okay? If it is below 3.35, it's not safe. If it is above 11.39, it's not safe. So it can only be at or in between those numbers. What our order was 4.6 milligrams. So that was one dose. But it told us that we had to give this every 8 hours. So that's 3 doses in a day, because 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. So if you multiply 3 times 4.6, that's how much milligrams you would give in one whole day. Okay. So 13.6 is more than 11.39. So therefore it's not in the green zone. It's not safe. So we will not give this medicine. Okay. Y'all want to do another one of these? You're welcome. Yes, please. Okie dokie. Y'all so polite. I don't like that one. I don't like that one either. Let's see. Let me see. I want a good one. I want a good one. If y'all are liking this live session, these live sessions, these breakdowns, y'all let me know. Give me some double taps. Double tap it. Double tap it. All right, let's do this one. It's got phenytoin in it. Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Is this math? Math. Dosage calculations. Mid-mouth. Thank you, Leslie, for the rose. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm not even in med calc type classes right now. I'm on fundamentals. Okay, but it's coming. Just know it's coming, and it don't go away. I don't know about y'all, but my test, they had dosage calculations. They had dosage calculations on every test. Like I knew we had 5 problems that we were going to have to do, and along with my name, I knew I had those problems right. So I was like, okay, I got 5 points. But those 5 points would give you, a fighting chance between a B and a C, or an A and a B. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about y'all, but I like to start off with a good safety net. So by the time that I'll come to midterms or finals, I know that I had, some wiggle room. I wanted to be able to Harlem shake up in there. I wanted some wiggle room. So those math problems help, in some instances. All right, so phenytoin, 40 milligrams per kilogram by mouth every 8 hours. The child weighs 27 pounds. The safe range is 8 milligrams per kilogram to 24 per day, basically, to 10 milligrams per kilogram per. This one's not really a good one, is it? Because that one already has 40 milligrams. This is not safe. I don't like this one either. Let's do another one. I'm sorry. I got y'all's hopes up. I don't like that one. I'm sorry. Let's do. That's the same one. That's per 8 hours. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. I'm sorry. It's another phenytoin. I do apologize. I started reading. I'm like, I don't like that one. All right. Are you able to do any IV drip? Yeah, we can do some more. We already did some, but we can do some more. All right, so phenytoin, 40 milligrams by mouth every 8 hours. Child weighs 27 pounds. The safe range is 8 to 10 milligrams per kilogram in a day. What is the safe 24-hour range? Is the dose safe for a 24-hour period? If the medicine is supplied 125 milligrams per 5 mLs, how many milliliters will you administer per dose? All right, here we go. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to find our safe dose range, right? So we'll do 8 milligrams per kilogram per day. I don't like when it said 24 in there, because if you don't put like your hours in and cross your hours out, you'll be putting in an extra number. And then if you don't put like your hours in there, that 24 is going to throw your answer way off. So I just write day, because 24 hours is a day, ain't it? All right. Okay. So now our patient weighs in 27 pounds. So we'll do 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. Kg cross out, and now we have 27 pounds over 1 pounds crosses out, and now we have our daily amount. This is the least that they can get, but effective amount per day. So 8 times 27 divided by 2.2. So we'll do 98.18 or 98.2, depending on how your institution tells you to round, okay? And we'll do the same for the 10 milligrams. So 10 milligrams per kilogram per day times 1 kilogram over 2.2 pounds and 27 pounds over 1. Kilograms cross out, pounds cross out, and now we'll do our math. So 10 milligrams times 27 divided by 2.2. It'll be 122.72 or 0.7. Like I said, it depends on how they tell you to round, okay? So that is our safe zone, okay? No less than 98.18, no more than 122.72. All right, so let's look at our order now. The order says 40 milligrams by mouth every 8 hours. So 40 milligrams is 1 dose. And you have to give that 1 dose every 8 hours. 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. So we'll do 40 times 3 doses, which is going to be 120 milligrams per day ordered. Okay. Is the ordered amount safe? Oh my God. How did I know? How did I know what? Madsy. Are you talking to me? I don't think you're talking to me. I mean, I just seen it. I'm like, what? Okay, I don't think you're talking to me. But is it safe? I am not a professor. But no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. 4 times 3. Okay, so listen. Yes, it is safe. It is safe. So where I got 3 from and where I got 120 from. So right here, this says that we are to give 1 dose, which is 40 milligrams by mouth every 8 hours. So 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. And that's going to be 3 doses in 1 day. So if you do 40 times 3 is 120. So that's 120 milligrams in the whole day, okay? And it fits between 98.18 and 122.72. So therefore it is safe. So since this is a safe dose, we can now find how much we are to give per dose. So remember, this is 1 dose right here, okay? So we have, I need to erase some of this. And you guys, if you're thinking, oh no, don't erase it, I'm not done writing down, these replays are on my YouTube channel. A blessed RN. So you can go and look at this one and the ones before, and I've got problems broken down just individually, so you won't have to look at the whole live session if you don't want to. And they're broken down in playlists, so they're easily accessible to find. All right, so let's see, 125 milligrams is what it's. Okay, we not right now. All right, here we go. 125 mg per 5 ml, and what's ordered is 40 milligrams. So if we're looking for milligram per dose, or milliliter per dose, excuse me, we'll do this. So remember, 40 milligrams is one dose, okay? So I'm looking for a milliliter. I'm going to start with my milliliters. 5 mLs over 125 milligrams. My milligrams will go on the top. Dose will go on the bottom. Milligrams crosses out. Now we have how many milliliters per dose. So it's going to be 5 times 40 divided by 125. And that's going to be 1.6 mLs per dose. Whoop, whoop. Any more requests? Oh, somebody said drops per minute, I think. I forgot that's that quick. My bad. Drops per minute and flow rates. Looking for teaspoon or tablespoon questions. And kilogram questions. Okay, so some metric conversions. All right. Okay, so let's see. 500 mLs of D5 half normal saline to infuse in 6 hours. The drop factor is 20 drops per ml. What is the flow rate? So we know that this question has a drop factor in it. It's automatically going to be drop per minute. If it's pump or infusion device, or if it tells you milliliter per hour, then it'll be milliliter per hour. So our goal is to get drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. So we have a drop factor of 20 drops per ml, and we need 500 milliliters to infuse over 6 hours. So 500 over 6 hours. So I'm looking for my drops on the top, so I'll start with those first. So then we have mLs on the bottom, so I need my mLs on the top. 500 milliliters over 6 hours. Milliliters cross out. And now we got drops on the top, we need minutes on the bottom. So we'll do hour on the top, minute on the bottom. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Hours crosses out, and now we're ready to solve. So let's see, 20 times 500 divided by 6 divided by 60. 27.7777. So if this is to be rounded to the nearest whole number, what is our answer? .28 drops per minute. Okay. What did it say? I don't like how I wrote that one. Alrighty, you guys. Oh, this is a good one because it's got all this fluff in it. So, do y'all get caught up by the fluff in problems? Like, all the words and stuff, and you're like, where do I start? Is that an issue? Yes. Okay. Okay. So let's look. Okay, let's break it down. So this is drug D. 4.25 grams and 500 mLs of normal saline is to infuse over 2 hours. Available from the pharmacy is drug D, 4.25 grams and 500 milliliters normal saline bag with IV tubing, drop factor of 20 drops per ml. How many drops per minute will the nurse set as the rate to administer the dose? Okay, so look. In this question, did it ask anything about a gram, about drug D, about anything like that? No. It specifically asks us to find the drops per minute, right? So grams and all of that junk is got to go. It says that we have 500 mLs. We're looking for volume, how much, over how long time. So 500 mLs over 2 hours. So I like to write my relationships to the side. So 500 mLs is going over 2 hours. And then what else do we have? Our drop factor is 20 drops per ml. And our goal is to find drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start with our drops. All right, so 20 drops per ml. Now we've got to have our mLs on the top, so 500 milliliters over 2 hours. Milliliters cross out, and now we're looking for our minutes to be on the bottom. So hour on the top, minute on the bottom. 1 hour is 60 minutes, and that's that. Don't let all that stuff trip you up. If you're looking for volume over time, and it literally tells you to infuse over, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look at the words over or in. So that much over this much. That's how you know what to use, okay? So 20 drops, 500 divided by 2 divided by 60. So 83.333 repeating. So we are going to round this to the nearest whole number. So that is going to be 83 drops per minute. No diggity. Got to bag it up, yeah. All right, let's see what we're looking for. Teaspoons and tablespoon questions. Righty. So metric conversion. Oh, I hate these. I struggle so much with them. Really? Okie dokie. She's got class and style. I'm gonna write one out because I don't feel like looking through those because those are all mixed up. All right. So let's see. Boom. All right. So we know that teaspoon, tablespoon, then an ounce. Hey, 5 ml, 15 ml, 30 ml. Okay. So that's how you remember how many milliliters is in a teaspoon, how many milliliters is in a tablespoon, and how many milliliters is in an ounce, okay? So if we're going from milliliters to ounces, let's do 360 milliliters is how many ounces, okay? So we know that 1 ounce is 30 mLs, okay? If we are looking for ounces, we are going to start with ounces. So we got 1 ounce is 30 milliliters, okay? So then we'll put our milliliters on the top, which is 360 mLs. It's not in a relationship with anything, but put it over 1. Milliliters go, and now we have ounces that's left. So 360 divided by 30 is going to be 12, okay? Ounces. All right. So let's say we have let's do random number. 250 mLs is how many tablespoons? We know that 1 tablespoon is how many milliliters? 15. Okay, so if you're looking for tablespoon, you start with what you're looking for. Somebody asked me earlier, can you do every problem with dimensional analysis? You could do the simplest things like metric conversion to the most difficult critical drip weight-based problem. And you do it the same way. Start with what you're looking for and cross out everything else that you don't need by using your conversions and your relationships. Okay, so we're looking for a tablespoon, right? So we'll do 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. We got milliliters on the bottom, so we put our milliliters on the top, right? So 250 milliliters. It's not with anything. It's not in a relationship, so I throw it over 1. And now what's left is tablespoons. So you do 250 divided by 15. And that's going to be 16.6 or 16.7 tablespoons, because the sixes are repeating. Okay. Let's say you had, okay, so you know the intake and out, the input and output problems, and it'll give you how much your patient has drunk with like soup, or they drunk however many mLs or ounces of soda, or how many cups, and you have to convert it to milliliters so you can add it all up. So what if it told you that they drunk 4 cups of soup, and we need to know how many milliliters that is, right? So that one is going to take a little bit more. So we know that 1 ounce is 30 mLs, but we know that there are 8 ounces in a cup. Okay, so if we're looking for milliliters, you would start with milliliters, right? So we're going to do 30 milliliters is 1 ounce. Now we got ounces at the bottom, so we need ounces at the top. So we'll use this. 8 ounces is 1 cup. Ounce crosses out. Now we got cups at the bottom. We need cups at the top because we need mLs to be by itself, but we still got cups, right? So we got to get rid of them. 4 cups, and that came from right here in our problem. It's not with anything else, it's by itself, so it's single. Your cups have now crossed out. Now you can do 30 times 8 times 4, and that's going to be 960 milliliters. My phone's going off. Who is this? Do 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 do. Pop, pop. Does this make sense, y'all, on how you can use DA to do your conversions? Yes. Do y'all know how to do what is it? Lord, I just went blank. Help me. 35 has been a year. I tell you that. I can't believe I'm about to be 36. It's like I was just in school. I've been a nurse since 2010. My life is going to end. What? What in the heck is it? It's trying to end my life. Okay. So anywho, I was like, what is this doing? I've been a nurse for 14 years, since 2010, and it's just, I don't know, it went by so fast. It doesn't seem that long. Okay, so what was I about to say? Oh, how do you make inches, or like feet in inches to centimeters? Do y'all know how to do those? Does this get easier and quicker the longer you're a nurse, or are you always sitting down and doing the calculation? It gets easier. Like I'm long-winded anyways, but I just try to make sure everybody kind of, gets it. So I kind of draw it out. But yeah, I mean, you can just sit down and do, and that's it. I promise you. All right. So if you had a 6 foot, 5 inch person, and you needed to find how many centimeters they were, because you would have to do those in your body surface area problems. You will need conversions in RE and in real life, because when I do admissions, I have to convert their weight from pounds to kilograms, and I have to convert their height from inches to centimeters. So yeah, they'll tell you they don't know how many inches they are, so they say I'm 5'10". So then you got to know that, okay, 5 feet, that's 12 times 5, and that's 60 plus 10 more, that's however many inches that is, and then convert it to centimeters. So you need it. All right, so if your patient is 6 foot 5 inches and you need to do centimeters, this is how you would do it. So you would need to convert your feet to inches. So we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, right? So if we're looking for inches, we'll do 12 inches over 1 foot times your 6 feet over 1. Feet cross out, and then that's going to be your 12 times 6 plus your 5. So Boom, boom, 77. I always like to put it in. I don't trust myself sometimes. I'm like, is my math mathing? So I put even the simplest stuff in the calculator. Don't judge me. So 77 inches, right? So now we can go from inches to centimeters. So we know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So if we're looking for centimeters, we start with centimeters, okay? So 2.54 centimeters per 1 inch. And we have 77 inches worth of patient. And it'll go over 1 inches crosses out. So 2.54 times 77. So that's going to be 195.58 centimeters. Okay. I definitely get it, and I'm horrible at math. Great. That is great, great, great. I struggle with IV conversion. I don't know. Okay, okay. So yeah, is there any more? I got room for maybe one or two more. Only those, or also for IV fluid. I'm not sure what you're asking me. Oh, for IV fluid. So like usually your stuff is already pre-calculated based on the orders like in real life. But like say if you were in a field situation like FEMA and you were in disaster like mode and you had to do your drops per minute, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't have a pump. What if the lights go out and you don't have an IV pump? Then you have your drips. Do you know how to calibrate the drips or figure out the drip rate? I don't trust everybody. And once you get out, you'll see you don't trust everybody. But heparin, if nurse C is the one who's giving this heparin, I want to make sure that I'm going by the protocol. I got the right weight in there and I got the right rate. You also need 2 nurses to verify your drips, either when you start it or you change a bag or you titrate it. So you use this in real life in certain cases, and then certain oncology drugs too. You have to use math. I seen somebody, I don't know who it was, but she showed her calculations and what oncology drug it was, and I'm like, ooh, please post this, because people think you just need this to pass school, but like you want to know how to do this. Like you don't want to just be giving out medicine that could potentially kill or help your patient. You know what I'm saying? You got to know, because like what if they did a misprint, because stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, that's too much. Like why would they be getting this much if the order is for this? You know what I'm saying? All right. So ounces to milliliter, like input and output. I just did a couple of those. So if you want to look at the replay will be posted on my YouTube channel as soon as it's finished. Just as soon as it's finished. And there are other problems posted on there as well. What didn't I do tonight? I'm trying to think. I know several people said they had tests. I hope I went over something that is going to be on somebody's test this week. Let's see. Maybe, what didn't I do? What did not I do? Heparin? Let's do a heparin. I'll do a heparin. We'll end on the heparin note. How about that? Okay. So healthcare provider orders heparin 1,500 units per hour IV infusion. Pharmacy sends a bag labeled heparin 25,000 units and 250 mLs of D5W. Calculate the infusion rate milliliter per hour, and we're going to round to the whole number. So we are looking for ml per hour. That's our goal, okay? And we have an order of 1,500 units per hour, and we have available 25,000 units and 250 mLs of D5W. So we want milliliter on the top and hour on the bottom, right? So we'll do 250 mLs over 25,000 units. And then we have units on the bottom, so we need units on the top. So we'll do 1,500 units over hour. Units cross out, and now we have milliliter on the top, an hour on the bottom. Some people would want to, oh, don't I have to multiply this by 60 or divide by this and that? Nope, that's it. Don't go any further. Don't go past go. Don't collect 200. Just sit there, put this in your calculator and get the right answer and walk out in victory, okay? So 250 times 500. 1,500, excuse me. I didn't put 500, I put 15. I promise. 25,000. It's divided at the bottom. And I got 15 mLs per hour. Did you? Did I? So that was a different type of heparin problem. That gave you the units per hour, and you had to find it. And normally you would have one like this. All right. So your patient has, in order to receive a heparin bolus of 4,000 units, followed by a drip of 14 units per kilogram per hour. The patient weighs 203 pounds. You have a heparin vial labeled heparin for 1,000 units per ml. What will you give your patient for the initial bolus? And then what will you set your IV pump for a continuous drip if you have a bag of heparin that has 40,000 units in it per 1,000 ml? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the heparin, or let's quiz. Pop quiz. No, seriously though, heparin. What are we giving heparin for? This is a very, very, very important drug. What are we giving heparin for? Y'all know what we're getting for heparin? What are we giving heparin? I'm going to tell you why we're giving heparin. Heparin is going to be an anticoagulation drug, right? Prevent DVTs, or if somebody has a DVT, somebody has a PE, and anticoagulant. What if they have a heart attack, right? So did you know that the most likely thing that you're going to die from after a heart attack is a dysrhythmia? Because your heart, the tissue, right, is affected. So it's not going to do lub dub. It's going to do love it, or whatever it does, right? Because usually you can have a dysrhythmia after you have a heart attack. So when the heart doesn't pump right, the blood doesn't flow right. And when the blood doesn't flow right, it sits there and it clots. So it's going to be sitting up there and making this clot, and then it gets pumped out into the body, right? So we want this patient on a drip. Chest pain, MI, STEMI, DVT, PE, whatever. So we don't want them to have clots, right? So in order for your medicine to start working, you have to give them a bolus. So I know a lot of people see bolus and you're like, what the freak frag nabbit is that? So a bolus is going to be a one-time administration of a medicine. You can also have a bolus with tube feeding. It's just one administration at one time of medicine, okay? So listen, or fluids. Like, you ever heard of somebody having hypotension and they say, give a 500 cc bolus. We're going to push that 500 cc's in as fast as we can so that we can get that blood pressure up, okay? So in this case, we need to give 4,000 units to the patient so that they can have this medicine in the blood. We need to get it to a level where it's going to work so it doesn't clot. Then the drip is going to maintain your drug in your blood at a level so that you don't clot. You'll check your patient's blood with their coagulation studies every 6 hours or per hospital protocol to make sure that the APTT or the anti-XA is within range. If it's therapeutic, it stays the same. If it's subtherapeutic, you're going to have to change that rate. When you change your rate of a medicine in IV, that's called titration. So you're going to titrate it up or you're going to titrate it down. So if it's too much in the blood, because if you get too much heparin, what's going to happen to your patient? If you have too much heparin, you're going to bleed out, okay? So we got to check that. But anywho, back to this problem. So when you first look at bolus, think that this is just one part, okay? So you're going to get this from here, and then that's it. And then you're going to set up a drip that's going at that. All right, so let's do the bolus first. Bolus is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, all right? So we need 4,000 units. That's ordered. What we have is 1,000 units per ml. So we're looking for milliliters, right? So we'll do ml over 1,000 U. 4,000 units is what's ordered. It's not in relationship. We'll put it over 1. And so units crossed out, we're left with milliliters. So that's 4 divided by 1. 4,000 divided by 1,000. So that's going to be 4 milliliters that we'll give to our patient. DVT, deep vein thrombosis. Sorry. Or thrombus. So it's a clot. A blood clot. Yep. Okay, so that is it. That is exactly what we need to do to find our bolus. Nothing more and nothing less. Okay, so now that we found our bolus, we need to find out the drip. So heparin is a weight-based medicine. Okay, it's based off how much your patient weighs. So remember what we said, PPP for your weight-based stuff. So patient weight is 203 pounds. Your prescription is 14 units per kilogram per hour. And then your medicine is this. This is your bag of heparin. It's going to be 40,000 units in 1,000 mLs. Okay. So if we're looking for IV pump is your great hint right there. So we're looking for milliliter per hour. So when you have an IV pump, an infusion device is going to be milliliter per hour. So I need my milliliters on the top. So I'll do 1,000 ml over 40,000 units. Okay. So now we'll do 14 units per kg per hour. Units have crossed out. We have our patient's weight, but it's in pounds, so we'll do our conversion right here. So 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. Kg has crossed out. And then we've got our pounds left, so we'll do 203 pounds. And it's not in a relationship with anything, so we'll put it over 1. Your pounds have crossed out, and now we have a milliliter on the top and hour on the bottom. We are at goal. So now we can solve our problem. So we'll do 1,000 times 14 times 203 divided by 40,000 divided by 2.2. That's going to be 32.29. So if we rounded this to the nearest whole number, it'll be 32 mLs per hour. If you rounded it to the nearest tenth, it'll be 32.3. I have seen IV pumps where you can round to the nearest tenth when you're given heparin. So it just depends on what the question is asking you for. Sorry, new here. How often do you go live? Yes, I'm glad to help you. Study Buddy Sunday and Work It Out Wednesday. Sunday nights at 7:30 and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. And both of those are Central Time because I am in Alabama. All right, you guys. That concludes this session for Study Buddy Sunday tonight. I hope that you all have gotten something from it. If you need individual tutoring sessions or small, up to 4 people, group sessions, ABR and tutoring, you can go on the YouTube channel and look at the past replays, and there are